Well, this is a big deal for the city and even a bigger deal for Presbyterian. The first Cancer Resource Center in Albuquerque is opening up at Presbyterian Casement Hospital. And here with details on this center that I'm talking about, Marissa Perez, Manager of Community Outreach and Special Initiatives at the Cancer Center. Welcome, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I gotta say, this is very exciting. I understand that the center is going to impact patients and families in a huge positive way. So let's talk about this. It's getting ready to open.
Yes.
Officially when, on Monday?
Yeah, we're doing a soft opening on Monday.
Okay. And
Yes.
so what is this all about? How is this going to help patients and their families?
Well, essentially, cancer resource centers under the American Cancer Society are open across the country.
Okay.
And they provide services, materials, programs, and emotional support to patients who are going through cancer and their families. And it's all free. And essentially, this is the first one that will be open in Albuquerque, and we're really excited to offer these things to our patients and everyone in the community who needs it.
Yeah, this is a big deal. A first, right, as you
Yes.
said. How did it come about? How did it get here?
Well, basically, our director of supportive care services had a cancer resource center at the hospital she was at in Colorado, and she really thought this would be a fantastic way for us to not just serve our patients, but serve the community, and that's part of our mission. And basically, we started working on the agreement 2 years ago, and we're finally there.
2 years in the making.
Yeah, and so we're hoping to ramp up with volunteers and be open all the hours that our clinic is open at Casement. So.
Speaking of volunteers, you're always looking for people to help out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and a lot of the volunteers are people who are cancer survivors, but that's not a requirement.
Sure.
And essentially they just have to commit to a 4-hour, approximately once a week type volunteer role. And they would go through the process at Presbyterian, be trained by American Cancer Society, and
That is fantastic. So the center, for example, you're going to walk in and you're going to see an array of information, kind of like a little setup that we have here, right?
Yes,
There's going to be
yes.
pamphlet, resource information for families. And you talked a lot, you mentioned emotional support, which I think is so important
Yes.
in one's fight and battle with
yes,
cancer.
definitely. There just cannot be enough people to provide support to patients and families, and having volunteers who are solely there for that purpose, to provide information and support will be a great complement to the supportive care services that we offer at Presbyterian. And the other wonderful thing is that all the materials are free, and they can take the time and sit down and go through information on the web. They can connect people to programs like Look Good and Feel Better, or Reach to Recovery or Road to Recovery if they need transportation assistance.
Sure. Oh, that's a good one too.
There's lodging assistance.
Sure.
So there's really a lot of different things that, depending on the needs of the patients and families, we can connect them to free resources.
Free resources, we love that. And you brought in some wigs here.
Yes.
Is that part of the center?
Yes, definitely. And so we'll have basically a setup with a mirror and kind of like a dressing room type thing where women can try on wigs, and there'll be head coverings and scarves and turbans and different things like that. And then we have these information managers, because when you're going through cancer, there's just a ton of information just all of a sudden.
It could be overwhelming.
Right.
It could be overwhelming.
And so this is one way to help keep track of that. And then we also have brochures that give people overview, because information saturation is another issue. So just presenting it in friendly language, if you will,
Simple,
easier to
simplicity.
understand. Yeah.
Wow. So you mentioned all of this free.
Yes.
And this is for the patients, perhaps family members. And do they have to be part of Presbyterian?
No. This is a partnership with the American Cancer Society for that reason. Essentially, it's available to anyone. And actually, a lot of the patients that come into Albuquerque for treatment are from outside of Albuquerque. And so we're hoping, that people will really find this to be a convenient resource, regardless of where they're getting their cancer care.
That is fantastic. That's a great thing that you guys are doing. We
yeah.
did have some information, this cancer center at the hospital off of Constitution, correct?
Right, in our 2-story professional office building. Yes.
Okay, and we do have a link, by the way, on our website for a link to the hospital and information on this new cancer center. It's such exciting news for our community. All you have to do is go to CASA.com, click on the CASA blog,